Shedeur Sanders' bold decision to turn down Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and how it's shaping his future in Cleveland. Introduction: the rookie who said no. In a league where most rookies would do anything for a chance to be drafted, to hear their name called, shake the commissioner's hand, and secure that life-changing opportunity, Shedeur Sanders made one of the boldest decisions in recent NFL memory. Even as the 2024 NFL Draft unfolded and Sanders' name slid further down the board than many had expected, the son of Hall of Famer Deion Coach Prime Sanders wasn't just waiting patiently by the phone. He was actively taking control of his destiny. Baltimore Ravens general manager Eric DeCosta had a plan. The Ravens were eyeing Sanders in the 5th round, poised to take him with the 141st pick. But word came back that Sanders wasn't interested in holding a clipboard behind Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP and one of the most electrifying players in football. So Sanders did what few rookies would dare to do. He turned Baltimore down. It was a move that shocked scouts, puzzled analysts, and even sparked debates about whether a rookie quarterback had earned the right to dictate his destination. But for Sanders, it was about one thing: opportunity. And now, just a few months later, that decision is being examined under an even harsher spotlight as Sanders' NFL journey begins with its fair share of challenges. Not in Baltimore, but in Cleveland. The Ravens' plan: why Baltimore wanted Shedeur. The Baltimore Ravens are no strangers to investing in the quarterback position. Lamar Jackson is their unquestioned leader, but Baltimore has always valued strong depth behind him, knowing how crucial the QB position is in a league where injuries can derail a season in an instant. Heading into the draft, the Ravens had Jackson under contract for $200 million, but they were also looking ahead. Tyler Huntley, their longtime backup, had moved on, leaving a vacancy for a developmental quarterback who could learn in the shadows of Jackson and eventually become a reliable option. Shedeur Sanders, with his polished mechanics and high football IQ, seemed like an ideal fit, but there was a problem. Sanders didn't want to sit. Adam "Pac-Man" Jones speaks. The inside story. NFL veteran and family friend Adam "Pac-Man" Jones broke down Sanders' decision in brutally honest fashion on his show Politically Raw with Pac-Man Jones. Me, personally, why in the F would I want to go play behind Lamar Jackson? Jones asked rhetorically. What am I going to learn from Lamar Jackson? First of all, I don't run the ball. I can throw the ball better than him, which is a fact. And he just got $200 million. Why would I want to go behind the MEF League MVP, though? Does that make any sense, bro? That's like him going to the Bills. Jones' take was as raw as it was revealing. The Sanders camp didn't see Baltimore as a place where Shedeur could grow into a starter. Sitting behind Jackson would mean years of waiting, and Sanders believes his game is ready now. Jones compared it to backing up Josh Allen in Buffalo or Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. There's no path to the field unless the superstar ahead of you gets hurt. Behind the scenes, Baltimore's curious draft trade. The Ravens' actions on draft day only added to the intrigue. They owned the 136th pick but traded it, along with a 6th rounder, to move back to number 141 and add another late pick, number 178. GM Eric DeCosta called the decision analytics-based, but insiders saw it as a calculated move to buy time. Baltimore wanted to gauge whether Sanders was truly interested in joining the team before committing to the pick. When it became clear that Sanders wasn't all in, they pivoted quickly, selecting offensive lineman Carson Vinson instead. 3 teams, 1 quarterback. Baltimore wasn't alone in its pursuit. As former MVP quarterback Cam Newton later revealed, 3 teams had Sanders on their radar: the Ravens, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Cleveland Browns. Newton, never shy about sharing his thoughts, framed Sanders' decision in business terms. All money ain't good money, he said. He knew he wouldn't play unless Lamar or Jalen Hurts got hurt. In other words, Sanders was thinking like a starter, not a bench warmer. The Eagles, with Hurts locked into a franchise-defining contract, offered no better path to the field than Baltimore. That left the Browns, a team with one of the most volatile quarterback situations in the league, as the best opportunity. Landing in Cleveland, a double-edged sword. When the Browns traded up and selected Sanders 3 picks after the Ravens passed, it seemed like the perfect marriage. Cleveland had a shaky QB depth chart and a reputation for giving young quarterbacks a chance to compete. But reality hit quickly. Sanders arrived in Cleveland as QB4, buried behind Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel. When Pickett was traded to the Raiders, the door seemed to open a little wider, only for the Browns to sign Bailey Zappe to the practice squad in August, crowding the room again. Head coach Kevin Stefanski made the situation crystal clear. "Shedeur is our emergency quarterback," Stefanski told reporters. "He's preparing every week as if he could be called on, but right now Joe is our starter, Dillon is the backup, and Shedeur is in that next man up spot." In other words, Sanders escaped Lamar Jackson's shadow only to find himself in a similar position, waiting. Rumors of reduced reps. The situation grew more complicated when reports emerged that Bailey Zappe was taking scout team reps, leading to speculation that Sanders was losing valuable practice time. The Browns quickly pushed back on that narrative. Quarterbacks coach Bill Musgrave clarified that all QBs rotate scout duties. "They immerse themselves, both of them, in the game plan," Musgrave said of Gabriel and Sanders. "They did a lot of drill work on the side both before and after practice. And then they get some scout team reps so they can get some balls airborne and make sure that they're staying in sync. Dillon is 1 play away and Shedeur is 2 plays away." While the staff insists Sanders is still developing as planned, the lack of live game snaps has been frustrating for fans who want to see what he can do. Shedeur's diplomatic response. For his part, Sanders has refused to stir the pot. After Cleveland's 41-17 loss to Baltimore, reporters asked him about the irony of turning down the Ravens only to end up sitting behind multiple QBs in Cleveland. "My response is I'm focused on the now," Sanders said. "I don't really talk about anything in the past, and whatever happened in the past, it is what it is. You wouldn't believe my memory don't even go back that far. I don't remember anything pre-draft. I remember I'm here, I go to practice every day, and there's a 24-hour rule." It was a diplomatic answer, the kind you'd expect from someone raised in a media spotlight. But behind those words is a quarterback who still believes he belongs on the field. Week 3 and beyond. Waiting for the opportunity. The Browns are set to face the Packers in Week 3, and once again, Sanders will be on the sideline in street clothes, headset on, charting plays and learning. But the NFL is a league where situations change fast. One injury, one losing streak, or one coaching decision could flip the depth chart upside down. Sanders knows this. That's why he's keeping his head down and staying ready. The bigger picture, a calculated gamble. Shedeur Sanders' decision to turn down the Ravens wasn't reckless. It was calculated. He believed he had a better chance of becoming a starter in Cleveland, and in the long run, he might be right. But the gamble has also put him in a difficult position. If he remains glued to the bench all season, critics will wonder if he should have taken the chance to learn behind Lamar Jackson in a stable environment with one of the NFL's best organizations. At the same time, if an opportunity arises in Cleveland and Sanders delivers, he'll look like a genius, a rookie who bet on himself and won. Conclusion. A story still being written. Right now, Shedeur Sanders' NFL story is one of patience, positioning, and pressure. He turned down the chance to learn from Lamar Jackson, opted for a path where he believed he could play sooner, and now finds himself watching and waiting once again. Whether he becomes Cleveland's starter in the future or eventually moves on to another team, his journey is already one of the most fascinating in the league. And when that first real chance comes, whether in Week 10, next season, or 2 years down the road, expect Shedeur Sanders to be ready. Because if there's one thing we've learned about him already, it's this. He refuses to let anyone else write his story for him.